A Mochi moment from Sadie, who writes, I'm not crying, you're crying. This is what I said during my first appointment with my physician at Mochi, because I didn't have to convince him I needed a GLP-1. He understood, and I felt supported, not judged. I came for the weight loss and stayed for the empathy. Thanks, Sadie. I'm Myra Ahmed, founder of Mochi Health. To find your Mochi moment, visit joinmochi.com.
Sadie is a Mochi member compensated for her story.
You know, this is one of those topics that no one really wants to think about, but if you're a parent, a homeowner, married, or helping take care of aging parents, it's something that honestly deserves a little attention. I'm talking about estate planning. And before you tune out thinking it's complicated or expensive, that's actually why I want to mention Trust and Will. Trust and Will makes estate planning feel way less intimidating than it sounds. They offer modern, attorney-designed wills and trusts that you can create online. And the process is surprisingly straightforward. In fact, you can create a will in as little as 30 minutes. That includes things like guardianship for your kids or pets, how your assets are distributed, and even healthcare directives. Don't wait until it's too late. Protect your loved ones with Trust and Will, the most trusted name in online estate planning. Go to trustandwill.com/future to get 20% off. That's trustandwill.com/future for 20% off. trustandwill.com/FUTURE.
Welcome to the Retreat Leaders Podcast, the show for visionary coaches, healers, wellness pros, and small business owners who aren't just here to host another feel-good getaway, but to build a profitable, impactful retreat business. I'm your host, Shannon Jamail, retreat strategist, business mentor, and owner of a 46-acre retreat center. I've hosted over 100 retreats around the world, and I've made every mistake so you don't have to. Each week, we'll dive into the mindset, marketing, money, business, and mechanics behind sold-out, profitable retreats. Plus, hear from expert guests who are walking the talk. Whether you're planning your first retreat or scaling your 100th, you're in the right place. Welcome to the show. Hey guys, welcome back to the Retreat Leaders Podcast. It's Shannon. Today it's a solo show and I am in the new studio again. As you can see, I'm just loving the space. I don't have my systems down yet exactly, so I have my notes on my laptop. So I'm just going to apologize in advance if you're watching online that I will keep referring to my laptop for notes. Eventually I'll come up with a system that works or I'll get a better memorization process. I'm not really sure, but this is what we're doing today. Before I dive into the topic, I just want to ask a quick favor. Could you please pause the show right now if you have not subscribed or reviewed the show? It really means the world to me. I literally listen to, watch, read every single recommendation, feedback, all of the good stuff. And it really helps me also to be able to get some incredible guests on the show. So if you do that for me, pretty please. I'll wait. I'll be right here. Okay, so the topic that we're going to talk about today is staying on the course when the results feel slow. I can tell you that some of my daily, if not for sure weekly, conversations with retreat leaders in this space is how do we stay focused? How do we stay doing the activities we know are important? How do we stay positive? How do we stay excited if what is happening in our business, it feels slow? And I will say, regardless of what business you are in, if you are an entrepreneur in any capacity, there are cycles. There's cycles of when it's like, oh my goodness, coming in hard and fast and you're so excited and you almost can't keep up. And then there's times where you're like, crickets, what's happening? Where's everybody at? And so part of that is just the normal part of business. I don't know any successful entrepreneur who tells me they are 100% full throttle 365 year after year after year after year. It's just not the case. There's natural cycles that happen in every business. And so just know that part of this is natural. But let's talk about some reasons why retreat leaders in particular might stall, why their business might stall or what that feels like. First of all, when it comes to feeling like things are slower, I don't want you to take that as a signal to stop. And I feel like that's what happens a lot of times. No, I know that's what happens a lot of times. Retreat leaders, entrepreneurs in general, they will see that their numbers are not coming in as fast as they want. And all of a sudden they just want to stop doing the activities that they're doing. Or they have shiny object syndrome, which means either they're like, fuck it. I'm just not going to do the things that I normally would do because I feel like it's not doing anything. Or they go, you know what? If I do this instead, if I put my energy and focus over here, then maybe that's what will bring the business in. And that's not the case. That's not the case. Chasing new strategies does not all of a sudden make things happen. Typically, you get your core strategies designed, developed, agreed upon with yourself, because it is a self-agreement, and then you focus on those consistently day after day after day. Don't get distracted by this shiny object syndrome. Don't get distracted by comparison, because that's the other thing that happens is you're working on your stuff and then you're paying attention to what that retreat leader or that entrepreneur is doing over there. And you're like, oh man, I'm not doing as good as they are, he is, she is. I'm not, what's happening here? What's going on? And so you get stuck in that comparison trap. You are looking though, don't forget, at someone else's highlight reel. Almost always. And I'm even going to be a little bit of an asshole and tell you that if someone's telling you even that they're doing so good, they're blowing things up, they can't keep up, take that with about 50% truth unless you really, really know them, really trust them, and there's somebody really close in your circle. Otherwise, it's probably just their own inflated ego or front or mask or whatever you want to call it. And so at the end of the day, don't get distracted by shiny objects or comparison. Focus on your lane. Even if that means you have to shut out the noise that's happening. Maybe it means get off social media as far as the scrolling. Maybe it's just post what you have to post, do what you do, answer questions, get off. Don't go looking at other people's stuff. Maybe you have to mute things. Maybe you have to get out of those groups that give you so much angst when you're thinking about what's happening in your world versus somebody else's world. So maybe you have to make some decisions. But one of the things I will say for sure is typically right before all your work and your consistency pays off is when those things happen. It's like right before you get to that line where things are starting to really move is when you get distracted by shiny objects or you get distracted by comparison. And so stay focused, stay focused. The other thing is maybe defining what the working or activities actually look like. Right? So what does that look like? It could be maybe shifting from the metrics of bookings to maybe activity metrics. So this is a little different. Some people might say, okay, I need 1 booking a week or whatever that number is for me to feel good about this retreat. What if you shifted those metrics? Just when you're feeling down or worried, shift the metrics to how many conversations could you have? How many meetings could you set? How many content pieces could you send out? How many emails could you construct? Like switch the metrics from bookings to activities and focus on that and make that a reward. So instead of saying, I'm going to be excited when I get 1 booking a week, you're going to say, I'm going to be excited when I have 2 conversations a week, right? And so you're focusing on that rather than the bookings. Because what can happen is if we don't get our metrics answered, I guess you could say, or they're not checked, whatever, that's when we really start to get discouraged. If we're like, man, I wanted a booking this week, I didn't get it. Man, I wanted a booking this week, I didn't get it. And that keeps happening. Your energy shifts. I promise, call it woo-woo, I really don't care, but it's felt. It's absolutely felt. So switch the metrics from bookings, from sales, from signups to conversations, to interactions, to content, right? So it's just a slight signal change in your brain. Okay, maybe there could be even a 90-day plan, right? A 90-day focus where you commit to 1 primary marketing channel for 90 days before you reevaluate. And I say this because, and I'm almost the worst at this, y'all. I will be like, when I'm talking to a retreat leader, I'm like, well, have you done this? And have you done this? And have you done this? And blah, blah, blah. And I'm asking all these questions, and some of it very relevant, and some of it very important, and some of it is like, yes, this shit has to be done. But sometimes it kind of goes along with that shiny object syndrome. Sometimes it's like, okay, well, when your energy is in 500 places and you don't have an assistant to help you, or you don't have a PR team or a marketing team, or it's just you and your AI assistant, you might need to focus on 1, maybe 2 channels. And maybe you really go hard on those 1 or 2 channels for 90 days, like really hard, showing up daily, maybe several times a day. And the key to this is making sure that it's a channel or 2 channels. I wouldn't do more than 2 when you're really doing this focus, that your primary guest, your ideal client, your avatar spends the most time in. In other words, if your primary client does not use TikTok, don't spend your time on TikTok. If your primary client uses, we're just going to say Facebook and Pinterest, that's where you spend the bulk of your time. And I mean really consistent, really hard, really focused on those 2 areas for solid 90 days and evaluate what that looks like. What's the return on that time? How many pieces of content were you able to make in that time? How many interactions did you have? How many conversations did you have? All the things, right? Narrow down your focus for 90 days and go really hard on it. So that's kind of a thought or a plan that you could do. This is a big one. This next tip is a big one. Protecting your energy and your mindset. It kind of goes with that comparison conversation we just had. If you are allowing discouraging stuff to interfere with your planning, with your motivation, with your excitement, it will bring everything down. This goes for people in your life. This goes for business partners. This goes for the fucking news. Get off the news, get off the news, get off the news. I cannot say that enough. But protect your mindset, protect your energy, like as if it is your most precious, as if it is literally the heart beating inside your body. Pretend like you're holding that heart in your hand and that is your mindset and your energy. I cannot stress this enough. All of us can be subject to being completely torn down, completely discouraged. And a lot of it has to do with what we're allowing in, what we're allowing into our head, what we're allowing into our spaces. So please, please protect your mindset and your heart. There is terrible stuff happening in the world. There will always be terrible stuff happening in the world because we are humans, we are faulted, we are flawed, we are a mess. Focus on you and your world and what you can control and contribute to that world as positive as you can and as lovingly as you can, because that's what's within your control. By the way, it goes to that whole, I think it was Mother Teresa that said, it might have been Maya Angelou, but if you want to heal the world, you start at home. If we want to worry about the world or try to heal the world, we have to focus on our own home, our own business, our own lane. So don't let the noise in, is what I'm saying. At the end of the day, don't let the noise in. An idea to go for that too, because the other thing about being discouraged is it can also be data. So let's say it's not the world that's tearing you down. Maybe you're just tearing yourself down, right? And so you're just discouraged. And so what is the data for that? And do you have the opposite evidence? So what I mean by that is you're like, maybe you're getting discouraged, like, I just can't do this. I'm not going to be able to do these things. I don't, you're just super discouraged. You can then say, no, remember when you helped this person? Remember when this person came to you after and said these amazing things, how their life changed? Go look at the emails that you have. I have a folder on my laptop, which my laptop's right here. I have a folder, and it's called Praise. And when I'm feeling down or discouraged, I go into that folder and I pull up all the emails that I have gotten over the last 15 years that is praising me and my team or our programs or our retreats. And so collect that stuff. Provide evidence for yourself of the opposite of what you're feeling. It's just a little tip or tool to help you with that. Going along with our 90-day plan that we talked about, in general, another tip is to just stay consistent and create systems that help you do that, right? And so maybe you batch your content. So maybe you're not someone who can log in to whatever 1 or 2 platforms or however your setup is. You're not someone who can log in every day and post, right? But you have these periods of 2 to 4 hours where you feel super creative. Maybe it's that one day a week you get up at 5 a.m. before the sun rises. Or maybe you're the 12 a.m. person or 11 p.m. person. Wherever it is, whatever that sweet spot is for you that you feel super creative and motivated, maybe that's the time that you create your content for a whole week. And so you batch it, right? Maybe you have some automated follow-ups. Maybe you're offering something for free and you've got a whole drip campaign that's set up automatically to respond to someone to start getting them warmed up. Whatever it is, create a system that works for you so that you can be consistent, whatever that looks like. Done is better than perfect. Consistent is the best. So just keep that in mind when you're doing that. The last really kind of tip I will give you is accountability really, really helps because this job can feel like we are alone. Entrepreneurs in general, you feel very lonely sometimes. And so as a retreat leader, sometimes we feel like we're doing this work out on an island all by ourselves, and it's not even a pretty island, damn it. And so we feel lonely. And so this is where accountability can just help with a partner, a mentor, a business coach, whatever may be the case, whatever works for you. Here's what I will say. The best, and you're just going to be like, whatever, Shannon, roll your eyes, but the best accountability is someone that you pay. If you're not there yet, fine. But I'm just telling you, you show up differently when you're paying someone to help you be accountable. It's 100% fact. It is such a small percentage of us as humans that we will show up to our fullest potential if we're not paying someone. It typically doesn't work that way. And so if you're at all in a space, and maybe even if you're not, but you really want this business to work, and so you're willing to invest and create a little bit of healthy business debt, you need to hire someone to help you. I have recommendations. By the way, I don't do individual coaching, so see, I'm not even pitching me. I do have some group memberships that are great for group coaching. But if you're needing that one-on-one accountability, I'm happy to recommend some amazing humans. Of course, you know I'm going to recommend my friends Erin and Allison, but invest. If you can, invest in the business coaching that will truly help you feel not just accountable, but less lonely. So that's just one more thing that it's maybe not something you want to hear, but I'm just telling you, you'll show up differently if you do that. All right, guys. So I'm going to end this with just saying momentum isn't necessarily about doing more things. It's about doing the right things consistently. And I can tell you 100%, and I don't make a whole lot of guarantees or promises, but I can tell you 100%. If you create a system that works for you, that keeps you consistent, you stay focused, you protect your mindset, you have some sort of accountability system that works, you will absolutely get to the goal that you've set for yourself. I know it without a shadow of a doubt. And if you want to come learn some amazing systems and meet us in person, don't forget to join us in Denver in May at the Retreat Industry Forum. Till next time.
Thanks for tuning in to the Retreat Leaders Podcast. If you love this episode, please make sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with your retreat besties. Want more support? Grab free resources at theretreatleadersplaybook.com. Until next time, lead boldly, serve deeply, and retreat profitably.
Marketing is hard. But I'll tell you a little secret. It doesn't have to be. Let me point something out. You're listening to a podcast right now, and it's great. You love the host. You seek it out and download it. You listen to it while driving, working out, cooking, even going to the bathroom. Podcasts are a pretty close companion. And this is a podcast ad. Did I get your attention? You can reach great listeners like yourself with podcast advertising from Libsyn Ads. Choose from hundreds of top podcasts offering host endorsements, or run a pre-produced ad like this one across thousands of shows to reach your target audience and their favorite podcasts with Libsyn Ads. Go to libsynads.com, that's Libsyn, ads.com today.